This is Barbara Berrigan-Perea with Delta Flows, a radio show by the Voice of Stockton and Restore the Delta. This is the weekly radio show where we discuss everything Delta related: the environment, water management, water quality, farming, history and culture, public events, recreation, Delta food, and the arts. Tune in to Delta Flows on KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at KXVS Radio.
KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, live. The Voice of Stockton at Stone Soup Studio. KXVS.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lyme Show. And this is KXVS Radio, the Voice of Stockton. And I am Marilyn Fialkow Chadnick, MSW, Health and Mental Health. And I'm also the CEO of Dream Ahead Empowerment Initiative for Disability Rights and Social Work Consultation. And if you want to donate to our cause, we would be most grateful. You could reach us at KXVS, Lyme Show, Maryland, Voice of Stockton, 231 Bedford, 95204. So hope we do hear from you. And also, if you have any suggestions or want to be on the Lyme Show, because this happens every Thursday around 2 o'clock at KXVS. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, first I'm going to mention our sponsor, which is Dr. Raman Manshadi, Manshadi. And if you could consider buying his book, The Wisdom of Heart Health, it goes to youth who fall on the soccer field and have a cardiac arrest, and the defibrillators help save their lives because you only have 7 minutes. So please help the cause. And he's a wonderful man. He's my personal doctor. I asked him to be my sponsor, and he agreed. And that's the kind of man he is. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, I have an article by Dr. Raid on chronic Lyme disease and some of the treatments. And then I have another one by Dr. Rawls, who actually has worked on herbs all his life and has come out with 4 that you could take. And that to me is pretty exciting. Last time we talked about my situation, how in Stockton it was so horrible to get diagnosed and no one agreed with me, and I had to go 90 miles to get diagnosed. I hear now in Stockton, in the Waterloo Clinic, there are 2 people that may be able to discuss Lyme, but up until now, I've had no treatment here. So we're really anxious to get some of these special people in. I'm going to ask Dr. Klinghardt, the genius in Lyme, and I'm waiting in line for 7 months for Dr. Richard Horwitz. So, Lyme disease and co-infections by Dr. Raid. It's initiated by the bacteria called Borrelia burgdorferi. And it looks like it's very similar to chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis. So we have fatigue, pain joints. Joints are in pain right now. Neurological symptoms, cognitive symptoms, brain fog, loss of memory, anxiety, depression. And I have about 3 or 4 brain fogs, so that doesn't help. And cyclical symptoms. that worsen over time. And we'll say a word about the co-infections. Babesia, which I do have, is one of the co-infections. You can get up to 100 co-infections when you are bit by a tick. And you get cherry angiomas, red dots on the abdomen, issues with breathing, inability to take a deep breath. And, I have a lot of trouble breathing. Bartonella, red streaks on the abdomen, large lymph nodes in the neck, and I have foot problems with it, and also chicken skin on my arms, and so not too pleasant. Ehrlichia, which I don't have. It sometimes presents with sharp knife-like pain behind the eyes. Doesn't sound like too much fun. So, are there tests available? No. And there's an abysmally high false negative rate. And all this is talked about in Dr. Raid's article, Chronic Lyme Disease and Co-Infections. Yes, I always prove negative. I'm always told I don't have Lyme because the tests always say I don't have it. But I know I have it, and, there's no doubt in my mind I have it. And so that makes it really hard when there's no tests. He asked the question, are there any non-lab tests that can give diagnostic information? It says there is something called the autonomic response testing as developed by Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt. I do want him on the show one day. I hope he agrees. He's out in Seattle, and he's in the same time zone. He says the autonomic response testing can give diagnostic direction, as can related testing methods like applied kinesiology and occipital drop reflex testing. So it seems if we keep in touch with him, and there's a lot of Lyme groups, on the phone, when you're on the phone on Facebook. I think there's even one for him, and so you can learn so much on these healing Lyme apps. So what's the treatment options? Lyme literate integrative doctors, very hard to find them. Either medical doctors or naturopathic doctors. And they take a different approach. They like to see patients taking antibiotic therapy and while being supported with other anti-Lyme treatments in the Lyme killing process. In doing so, patients can resolve their infections faster and reduce the die-off symptoms. Unfortunately, in some situations, antibiotics are not the option. It is important that if antibiotics are not helping, it could be that a non-bacterial co-infection is at the root of the patient's symptoms. So what are the naturopathic integrative medical options? Let's see. I starred a few, which means there could be some. IV therapy. It's one of the most powerful treatments against Lyme and co-infections. One of the most powerful. A combination of hydrogen peroxide kills Lymes and co-infections, and nutrients, B vitamins, magnesium, etc., to improve energy level, brain fog, etc. Just took some of those last night. I take a lot of supplements, and I made sure I took those too. And also a high dose of vitamin C therapy. There are anti-Lyme herbs. His favorite is Quintessence by BioPure, as recommended by Dr. Klinghardt. Additional herbal compounds are artemisian for babesia and essential oil combinations. Rhizoles. They have a powerful synergistic effect against Lyme. I should really try that. It mentions here the immune system enhancement, waking up. I'd love to wake up from Lyme. I'd love to. I'm in such a stupor and pain from it even right now. Lyme has devised many ways to evade the immune system while still wreaking havoc on the body. Herbs can help in this regard. But more advanced treatments are often required to really, really wake up that immune system and get it properly patrolling the body. 2 advanced treatments include 1, nosode therapy, a simple in-office procedure that improves the ability of the immune system to scour the body's connective tissues and nervous systems for Lyme, places it frequently hides to evade the immune system. And the sinus, tonsil, neural, and ozone therapy, in-office treatments of these areas with procaine and ozone strongly enhance the overall immune system and directly kills Lyme in 2 of its main reservoirs in the body, the sinuses and the tonsils. Well, who knew that was the main reservoir of them? I didn't until I read this article by Raid. I said, oh my goodness. Then there's chronic cerebral spinal venous insufficiency protocol. Can be done with the sinus tonsil treatment to enhance blood flow to the brain, in a similar manner to how the Zamboni treatment helps people with MS. It's done as a treatment with procaine and ozone in the office. Well, then it mentions adrenal gland support. Our adrenal glands control our energy levels and get depleted in the face of stress. Chronic Lyme is incredibly stressful on the body, and thus the adrenals are virtually depleted in these patients. And so mine must be depleted, and I haven't really worked on the adrenal system, so please, please do. Support with strong doses of herbs and adrenal gland extracts, which help improve levels and mental function quickly. So that is something for me to learn. And reducing the EMF exposure, I'm not so good at that. Electro and magnetic fields can significantly aggravate symptoms of Lyme, especially when issues with brain fog and insomnia. Reducing exposure during sleep is crucial to improve recovery time. And we have to deal with other issues as they arise. Clearing heavy metals, metallic taste in the mouth, aggravation by strong scents, or start clearing past emotional issues. Sometimes old symptoms from years before surface again. As these issues arrive, they must be dealt with to help the Lyme to be cleared as efficiently as possible. Other therapies may include bee venom therapy, homeopathy, and these are treatments to boost natural killer cells. And one lady wrote a message to one of these people writing articles, and she says, what about stevia? She said, this lady who just gave a comment, she said that stevia cured her Lyme. She didn't say how much you have to take and when and how, but she said it does. And so I think I'm going to increase my stevia level. This is really, really outstanding. So what's the take-home message? Lyme is incredibly challenging, and it has lack of recognition in the conventional medical community. Fortunately, there are some concerned doctors A great deal of support is available to patients who are suffering from chronic Lyme. I know I'm on a lot of, chat groups on the phone. We're all working together, it says, to spread the information, even in the absence of positive laboratory results. I'm going to mention somebody else that as I printed out this article last night at 3 a.m, so I'm a little tired. I typed in the name Dr. Rawls, Rawls, because I remember before when I was doing research for another show that he studied herbs. He had Lyme and I think fibro, and he studied herbs. And so it's very exciting. He has 4 formulas. I think he studied 50 herbal blends, and he says take 3 capsules of each formula twice daily. 3 capsules twice daily. Now, I haven't taken this, but I would really recommend him because he studied, I think after he had the Buhner protocol, he studied herbs morning, noon, and night and found out he studied about 50 herbs. And so he knows what he's doing. Herbal formula number 1, antimicrobial support. Herbal formula number 2, immunomodulation, symptom reduction. 3, herbal formula, cellular support, optimal detoxification. Wow. Then he has herbal formula number 4, daily nutrients, cardiovascular function. Yes, I can't wait to get his stuff. I mean, please consider looking into getting his stuff because he seems to have a lot of answers. And when I was researching him, I didn't know that he had made formulas himself, that he wasn't just talking about Lyme and taking herbs, that he had developed these formulas himself. Then he talks about building a solid restorative foundation. He says supplements are essential. He says, but recovery is a process. He says that he has created, and maybe I'll be part of this, a small email course. Over 6 months, participants receive brief emails several times a week. I think I did give him my email last night. So, yeah, you can start to be part of his course. I mean, this to me is really exciting stuff. The emails are a blend of inspirational, instructional, and educational content. They're designed to answer almost any question that might come up in a timely fashion. And they help you to get your life back. Wow. A guide for restoring normal intestinal function and embracing clean eating is also included. So yes, a lot of us have problems with our intestines, and we need help in what to eat. Once he got his health back, he wanted to help others. What had taken him years of effort and research to figure out needed to be boiled down to an easy protocol. The first step was simplifying the process of taking the herbs. His interest in herbal medicine extended to herbal industry itself. I had learned where to get the best quality herbal extracts, how to evaluate the quality of them, and the best place to have them bottled. His daughter, who witnessed firsthand how herbs had helped her, came on board to manage his business. Our intent was creating the best possible herbal supplements for the money. The guiding principles for creating effective supplements were purity, potency, and synergy. He condensed his entire natural protocol for overcoming chronic Lyme into 4 primary formulas. These 4 contain the top 50 ingredients that I've researched for strengthening the immune system. And I think I told you about what these therapies were. Anyways, there's a picture, life as it should be. I don't know if the cameras will pick it up. But here he is, Dr. Rawls in a rowboat, looking sort of youngish. And he also says this whole protocol helped him with the aging process and helped him fight the aging process. So he looks rather youngish and good health and having fun in maybe it's a kayak. I'm not good at boats. But anyways, here he is. Here he is. Yes. And he also wrote a book about it. So, I think we should, perhaps we have a few more minutes. Maybe we can go back and study what the protocol was. I did go over his protocol briefly. And maybe we can look and see what his protocol was again. He said the guiding principles for creating effective supplements were purity. The highest quality ingredients are essential for maximum benefits. Potency, the use of modern herbal extracts concentrate medicinal benefits. Potency, the use of modern herbal extracts concentrated for these benefits. And synergy, combining herbs with different properties to potentiate the value of each individual herb. And again, Dr. Rawls' herbal blends are Herbal Blend Formula 1 for antimicrobial support, Herbal Formula 2, immunomodulation symptom reduction, and Herbal Formula 3, cellular support, optimal detoxification. And 4, Herbal Formula 4, daily nutrients, cardiovascular function. Well, and again to reiterate the fact that he has created an email course. And last night I did give him my email. I can't believe he has this course. Over 6 months, participants receive brief emails several times a week, and the emails are inspirational, instructional, and educational. And they answer any question that comes up, and they help you get your life back. Now, wouldn't it be nice if some of us, or all of us, could get our life back? There's few people that I know that did. And so, some are in remission though. So Lyme may come back to them, but they are feeling that they got their life back. And Dr. Rawls says it even fights aging. He feels so young when he takes these herbs, and he wants other people to try them and to feel like he is. Okay, one more picture of Dr. Rawls, and I think we'll end the show. Here he is, looking youngish, in a kayak. He overcame Lyme. He studied herbs forever after taking the Buhner protocol, and I am just so thrilled that he developed these herb formulas that we can take and has an email course for us. I just am overwhelmed and thrilled. Dr. Rawls, R-A-W-L-S, and he says his joints are great, his energy levels are sustained through the day, and he's as active as he wants to be. He says he might still have the microbe, but the most important thing is that he's living a normal life, free of symptoms. And listen to this, people, and this is going to help me too. Also free us from many of the effects of aging. So we're going to look younger after we take his formula. So I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know about you. So thank you very much for tuning in to the Lyme Show. We have it every Thursday around 2 o'clock. I am Marilyn Fialkow Chadnick, your host. I have an MSW in health and mental health, and I am CEO of Dream Ahead, the Empowerment Initiative. And please donate to this cause. When I go to the Mayor's Task Force on Disability, I mention Lyme as the major disability. Most people do not talk of it and stay home and don't come out of their house. And so I'm one of the few people that comes out with my pill box, but I don't look like I should be coming out. Everybody says, "Are you sure?" And William Story used to say, "Why are you here? Everybody I know is home with Lyme." And really most people just go to the corner and back and never get out of their house. So please come back to the show. We need people to volunteer, to be part of the show itself, to be a co-host, to be a guest. If you're a doctor, please be on our show. We need to have important co-hosts. I'm going to mention Nikki Baroni Kabosha, who really wanted to be a co-host on this show and is part of all the Lyme groups, but she hasn't been feeling too well, so let's pray for her that she can one day come back and actually help me co-host. That would be really wonderful. So goodbye for now, and we'll see you next week. KXVS Radio, Voice of Stockton.